Howdy on Willex Lives. I think it's time to play a little 7 Days to Die. I've been working on my... What's this? I found something. Working my base a little bit. I was out here trying to get some lumber. I'm trying to see what this weird hole is. Zombie. Well, I finished Atomfall this week. It was okay. First off, the snippet on Steam says it's a survival game, and that's a lie. And that's why I bought it. Because I love survival games. And I like adventure RPGs as well, which is what it actually turned out to be. This one was kind of meh. I feel like I don't really like I don't like the way... Oh god. Crap. Oh, it's a snake. I don't like the way open world RPGs work about 95% of the time. I don't know. I really like story. And it's super rare to get a... Oh, well, good. I've got all that lumber, and now I've just turned it into spike traps. I heard a dog. I wanted to try and get something to protect me from the dog. And instead I got attacked by a snake, so... I don't think the snake growled at me. But I'm not saying it didn't, either. But yeah, it's, I don't know. There's a... I'm just gonna die. Yep. There's a lot that didn't go right for me for Atomfall. One, it's open world RPG, which, like I said, I don't like the format of that well. Which is a shame, because I really like RPGs, but like every RPG seems to be open world RPG. You know who did it right was Baldur's Gate 3 Chapter 1. Baldur's Gate Chapter 3, kind of open world, kind of not. Good storyline. It felt like I was kind of in a rush to, save the people. There were story elements everywhere. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Chapter 2 and Chapter 3, not as much, but Chapter 1, I didn't finish Chapter 3. Chapter 1 was awesome. Now I don't even know where I was at. The sun is hitting off of that pole in a weird way. I thought it was arcing lightning. Or electricity. Alright, let's go over here to the forest and get some more wood. Oh, I think it was over here by that tractor at the ranch here, I think. That's okay, though. It just went in the barn. It probably went other places, too. I'll go back and check it later, if I remember. Right now, I just... Okay, the farm is infested with snakes. But Adamfall definitely does not get close to doing open world correctly. It felt a little bit like the way Atomic Heart plays. Like the way it played felt a little bit like Atomic Heart, but I think Atomic Heart was a little closer to what I like in an open world style RPG. It can't all be open world. You can't just go everywhere at all times. It doesn't work for me. I need story. I need reasons I have to do things. And that was what Adamfall was missing, was reasons to do things. So spoilers. Something happened. A reactor exploded and a section of the UK got sealed off because of it. I'm like, okay, so this is like Stalker. And then your character wakes up not knowing who he is or where he's at. Like, okay, this is like Stalker. And so you got to work your way through this little open world section, and you get rumors. And I think I talked to a merchant who gave me a little bit of information about the area, and so I explored around, and I didn't want to go straight to the town because the town seemed weird. It was like under quarantine, and there were like soldiers and. So I didn't know what was going on there, so I was kind of hoping for more information. And so I basically just wandered around the map a little bit and found a few like dungeon-y places that I explored, and then I went into town, and the soldiers were like, you know, this town is under the protection of the quarantine protocols, and we're keeping our eye on you. I'm like, okay. And then I get past the guard soldiers, and I start looking around, and like all the buildings in town are boarded up. I'm like, okay, there's nobody here. And then I see people, and you can't talk to them. You can't talk to anybody in the game, which drives me crazy. Like, you can talk to quest givers, but that's it. Nobody else gives you any information. They don't look at you. They don't talk to you. I'm just like, okay, so I don't get to know what's going on. I don't get to know what people feel about what's happening. Like, why are you not giving me storyline in this RPG? And so, like, there's no reason. Nobody ever gives you a reason at the start of the game to go anywhere. And so I'm just basically wandering around blind, and I make it into this place called the Interchange, and you have a card for some reason that allows you to open the doors that no one's been able to get open, supposedly. I say supposedly because somehow, even though I'm the only one with a card to get in, it's full of people. I don't know. And so I get inside there, and you discover that you get a phone call from something called the operator, and there's all these data centers, and they're powered down, and they're powered by these weird atomic batteries. And so that's your big quest, is to get the atomic batteries. And so you hear rumors of people who might have atomic batteries, but they don't really matter to the game. And I think that might be one of the problems with the game. It only took me about 20 hours to get through to the end because the game is too split up and nothing overlaps, kind of. And so uh, what you don't realize because no one talks to you, and all the papers you find basically are from the time when they did the experiment that caused the explosion, and there's not really a whole lot about what's currently going on in the area. You have no idea what's happening. And so the first there's like 6 factions, I think. I try to count them up. I think there's about 6 factions, and they don't really overlap, basically. And you can only complete one faction to finish the storyline. And so I didn't care for that. They needed to be more interlinked. And so like okay, apparently the protocol soldiers are a faction. I only talked to their leader one time, and I didn't like the "you must tell us what other people are doing in town so that we can punish people who aren't obeying the protocol, the quarantine protocol." I'm like, okay, I don't want to be part of that faction. Right. But I didn't even find the commander to give me that information because remember, nobody talks to you until I was almost to the end of one of the other factions. So, like, if the village is the first group of people you basically come to, actually, they're not the first group, I don't think, but the main group of people you come to, there should have been a little more in there about. There were kind of like some rebels. There was like some underground selling stuff that was happening, sort of. There was like a murder that didn't turn out to really be a mystery. I still don't understand what the point of that was. I think the vicar is working for protocol, and the vicar was turning in people for doing things that he felt were bad. And he had a girl that was spying for him, and the smugglers found out that she was there, and they killed her. Which would be an interesting story if anybody explained that, but that's what I pieced together from, hey, this girl was working for you. Yep, but she's dead now. And that's about the extent of the dialogue that I'm going to give you for this story. And then you go to the guy, because you found a note, and you're like, hey, this note says that you probably killed this girl. Yeah, I did. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to kill me? Are you going to let me go? Are you going to turn me in? I'm just like, what in the world? But yeah, so I didn't really interact with the protocol. I just basically talked to the commander once, and he was like, if you see anything suspicious, you come tell me. And then you get a phone call from something called the operator. That's one of the factions. So that's 2 factions. And it wants you to kill Oberon. And it says you can't trust anyone. And that's pretty much, I mean, it talks a little bit here and there, but it mostly just says, you can't trust the person you just talked to. You can only trust me, and Oberon must die. It's all it says to you the whole time. That's its faction. That's its faction message. That's its faction story. I don't know who the operator is. I finished the game. I don't know who the operator is. I don't know if it was ever explained. I totally missed what the operator was, if it was explained. It's just a voice on a phone call that sounds garbled. I couldn't tell if it was like some weird biological entity or if it was a computer program or what it was supposed to be. All I know is it was kind of dumb, and it just said, don't trust anybody, Oberon must die, every time you talk to it. So you get a few rumors of places where there might be batteries. And so I went to one of the places where they're supposed to have batteries. And then I discovered that the giant robots that are in the game that you basically have to take down also give you batteries. So there was zero point in rumors about batteries when I guess you could have snuck past them, but there were so many robots that I ended up just killing like most of the ones I came across because of how the game works. The game pretends that there might be a stealth element to the game. I didn't like the skill tree setup. You had to find a book, and the book would unlock the skill tree, and then you had to spend the points you earned. Or no, they weren't points; they were injections. You get these learning injections, and so the bigger the skill, the more injections it takes to learn it. And I say injections, but really they're just points. You find these things called learning something or another's. I don't remember exactly what they're called, but you find those guys, and then uh, you use those to skill up. So some of them might be worth 2 points. So you've got to have found 2 syringes. But that wasn't so bad because often you'd find like a box with 3 syringes in it, right? So it wasn't hard to get all the injections I needed. I didn't find all the skill books. I think there was probably like I want to say there was 12. I think there were 12 skill trees. Each tree had 3 items in it. I wouldn't really call it a tree. So there was 12 different. Yeah. Because I think there were 3 rows of 3. That's not 12, buddy. I think there were 3 rows of 3 in each section. So that's I said 12. There's uh what's that's 36 skills. There are 36 skills. Oh, right. Because there's three rows. Each row is a book. You start with 3 of them, I think. So you only had to find 9 books over the course of the game. I missed one somewhere. I don't know what skill it was for. Um, okay. I don't know why I can't work my own base. Anyways, so there was like a stealth line, but I don't know, man. It just the way it was set up, the I made the wooden spikes for the dog, and then I didn't find the dog. Ooh, that's a lot. I don't need that many. Just give me 100. Um, but the problem is that there was stealth takedowns, which is cool. But then all the bad guys come in groups. And I mean like I remember there's a group of outlaws which aren't a faction. They're just random bad guys in one of the sections. And and so they're all gathered in this one area. And so it looked like they were separating, but the problem is that every time they would move as a group. And so they're always moving as a group. And so you might be able to get like one in the back, but by the time you grab the guy in the back, the guy in the front would have decided it was time to turn around and come back the other way. And then when they'd find the body, then they would start looking for you, and you couldn't move the body. And so that was, it wasn't very good stealth. Okay, uh, so I guess you could have skipped all the robots, maybe. But the problem is that often the robots were next to other robots, and they would just patrol round and round and round, and everything could see you from miles away. So there wasn't really a stealth game to the game. There was occasionally you would find some plants that they would let you hide in. But like Like guys standing here, okay? Guys stand. You know what? Let me put down some boxes. Guys standing here, okay? That's fine. But then his buddy, who keeps looking at him, is standing here, okay? And then the patrol is moving around here, and they're about to come out and walk around, and so you're like, okay, I'm stealthing. Oh, he sees me. And you couldn't lean around corners. So yeah, so there wasn't really a stealth game, so that was pointless. It was one of those games where it's like no bullets the whole game, basically. And if there are bullets, there's nothing to shoot. And if there are bullets, you have a really limited storage space for bullets. Like I think it was like 50 bullets was the maximum. Which sounds like a lot, but when it takes 2 or 3 shots to kill something, or if you're fighting a robot and it takes like 10 or 15 shots to kill the robot, you run out of bullets real fast. And you can only carry 4 guns that are bigger than a pistol. And so you have to keep swapping out guns as you go so that you can use the bullets you have. Because, like, I might have a rifle. All the rifles use the same bullet. I might have a pistol. All the pistols use the same bullet. I might have a shotgun. All the shotguns use the same shell. You might have SMG. There's like one SMG in the game, and it used SMG bullets. It had its own set of bullets. It was the only gun that was by itself. I guess a bow. Bow had arrows, but you can only have 4 of those items equipped, and so you're always swapping them back and forth because you'd have like 3 bullets rifle, 2 bullets pistol, 6 arrows, right? 7 shotgun shells, and then you'd have like 50 SMG, but you wouldn't have the SMG because you swapped it out for something else, and now you're out of bullets for that thing that you swapped it out for, and so it was constantly like that, which is okay. I don't have a problem with that as a thing. I don't. I like Resident Evil. I like having to hunt down my bullets and keep them safe. Windows. Whoa. Are they called windows? What do you call them? Are there not windows? There used to be windows. Alright. Okay, well, I can't do windows currently. Let me have a door then. I'd like a door. And I need, I probably need some more of these. But yeah, so the factions were weird. And they didn't overlap really. I say that, so this is how my game went. I went in, I didn't meet any faction leaders, I didn't get any faction quests in the village the first time I went there. I went to the interchange, I didn't get anything there. I got a rumor about batteries. I went to the protocol base, and there's a prison at the back of it. And when I went into the prison, you could release the prisoners, and so I felt like they talked about how the prisoners were like political prisoners and stuff, and so I'm like, oh, okay, so protocol guys are the bad guys. Because no one's talked to me about what's going on. Oh, you know what I want to look for was dew traps. I need polymer, pipe, and duct tape. Oh, wow, okay. Oh, shoot, I don't want that in my inventory. I was trying to go the other way. And, I'm only at 32 polymer. So I left the village, I made it to the prison, I explored the prison, I released the prisoners because it said they were like political prisoners and scientists and stuff. I'm like, oh, well, those guys probably shouldn't be in here. And so you release this one prisoner, and she's a faction. And so she's like, meet me at the interchange. And I'm like, all right. and so I head back and I talked to her, and she's like, I don't think she told me anything. I I don't know who she was or what she wanted. Honestly, I talked to her, and I think the only thing she really ever said to me was like, "Don't trust other people, and just trust me." And that was about it. I honestly, I don't know what she wanted. And then while after I talked to her, is that aloe? Oh yeah, aloe's gotta go here in medicine. After I talked to her, then I got a message from a woman who was also in the interchange, who hadn't been there before, and okay, get this free XP here, man. What's this? Oh, buy item. And oh no, I don't want that. No, I want the thing that gives me better loot. That's still a thing. Get the better loots. Apparently not. What's this one? Oh. What's this one? Oh. Um. So it's not a food thing anymore? Am I missing it? Am I blind? Oh, it's over here in general perks. This is what I was looking for. I'm out of skill points. Anyways, so then I meet this woman who's like, no, I couldn't find the woman. It said she was in one of the sections of the interchange. I went to that section, she wasn't there. So whatever was supposed to happen didn't happen that time. So then I go out and um I can't get to one of the sections of the interchange because there's like this poisony stuff in the air, which is a mechanic I hate. I don't mind poisony stuff being in the air, but there is never a way to protect yourself from it completely. Like, one would think if I was in a radioactive fallout kind of area that, I don't know, there might be like some kind of suit or, air tanks or something, but the game doesn't have any armor. It you have weapons and salves and bandages, and that's basically it. Food, I guess. And I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't need this. I need to loot. That's what I need. And so I wandered around a bit, and um I found a key to the basement of the church. Now, I hadn't been in the church yet, so I went to the church. I left the interchange, went back to the village. I went to the church, and in the church, I talked to the vicar. Um, that's when I found out that girl was. Well, I knew the girl was spying for him because I found a note that said that. That's like the only thing I found notes for was that girl who was killed spying. Uh, and I don't know if I talked about that, but uh, and then the vicar was like, I want you to make sure that the guy who killed her leaves the village. And whatever you want to think I mean by leave the village, that's up to you. And so I went and I talked to the shop owner who had killed her. Turns out he's a smuggler, and the vicar is working for protocol. And so the smuggler, he just left, and then I went into the basement of the church, and you find a guy whose eyes are glowing, and he's like, "I've got the inoculation against the poison." I'm like, "Awesome," but it only gives you defense, or it only gives you some resistance. It doesn't stop it from hurting you. I'm like, okay, less awesome. And so I went from immediately dying in the poison to I could run to the spot I needed to get to, and maybe if I'm really quick, shove in the battery so that it can reactivate the area, and then run back out. Maybe if I'm fast enough. I was like, okay, well, this sucks. This is not giving me time to get through these sections that are full of poison. And so, I forget where he sends me. Oh, he wants a sample from the medical wing. And I'd been to the medical wing, but I didn't have the card to get to the lower levels, and he had the card. So he gives me the card. I go back to I did see a crate right there. I need to get to that crate. Need a parkour. And so he sends me to medical with his card, and so I go into medical. Medical has got invulnerable bad guys. Why, I don't know, but it does. They've got invincible bad guys. At least they were slow, and you could just run away from them. They had gas masks, and so you get past those guys, and you find out that the improves salvage tool. This teaches me how to make a headlight, and this is, yes, we want this. And so you find out that basically they had found a meteorite under the reactor, and it was organic in nature. And they discovered that they could use the spores from the meteorite to make an intellect boosting serum, which is what you use to learn your skills. And but the scientists have found a better way to use it, only it made them all crazy now. And those are the guys who now are immortal, I guess. So he wants you to poison Oberon. I'm like, oh well, you know what? Uh, Operator also wants me to kill Oberon, and so he wants this sample from medical. I go to medical. I get the sample. I bring it back to him. He makes me a poison, and he's like, okay, now you gotta take this to Oberon. And so the only way to get to Oberon is to fully power up the interchange, which is using the batteries I had stole from all the robots I killed. And so I did that, and I got in. Oh, and then I did go and I talked to one of the other factions. Uh, One of the other factions is these weird druid people. They want to embrace Oberon, and um, and so ooh, it's so dark in here. And so the druids are trying to kill you, and then you meet this woman who says the druids stole her book and she needs it back, and so you go into the castle that the druids are hanging out in, and um, cool. Starting to get egg kills more often, and so I go and I get the book. That takes me a while. The castle's huge. There aren't like a lot of people in it. It's just huge and confusing as to where I'm supposed to go, and it kept overlapping with itself. So I'd go someplace and then I'd come back to a place I'd already been, and I'd be like, oh, okay. And so it took me a while to figure out my way through the castle. I get the book. I take it to, I think Mother June was her name. And it turns out Mother June's actually like the leader of the druids. So I don't understand why I had to fight my way through the druids that she's in charge of. Or maybe she's in charge of a different faction of the druids. I don't know. But then she wants me to commune with Oberon and join with Oberon. And I'm like, yeah, no thanks. And so then they turn on me. I don't think they turn on you at that point. But they're like, no, really, our way's the best. Join with Oberon. He's going to usher in an age of communion, blah, 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 whatever. And so I fight my way. Or I get away from them. And then I had to, while I was with the druids, I found a potion or a salve or whatever it was that gives you more resistance against the poison. So I'm like, okay, there we go. So combined with the two, in the limited time that the druid potion worked, mixed with the inoculation I got from Glowy Eyes, then I could actually stay in the poison for a little bit longer. I could stay in areas where there was just spores in the air, but I couldn't stay in areas where there was active mist in the air. So there were different levels of poison, and so that got me through to Oberon, and then when I got down to Oberon at that point, the operator wanted me to blow up Oberon, but I had the poison from Holden, I think was his name. So I had the poison from Holden, so I flipped all the switches to activate the bombs, and then I then I did all the stuff to poison it. And after you poison it, you can no longer detonate the bombs. I was going to do both, and so then I had to run out of there as everything's dying. The druids attack you because they love the meteorite, and then the operator was like, well, you killed it like I asked you to. It's just going to take a while. And then Holden's like, come meet me in the medical wing, and we'll hide because we have glowy eyes now. I'm like, when did I get glowy eyes? Nobody told me that. And so I guess we went and hid in a bunker until it was all over, and then it does the whole thing that they like to do now, where you finish a game and then it's like, because you chose this, this happened. Only I didn't really have a lot of those. There was like, you were chatty once in the bar, and uh, there was one other thing. I think it only gave me like two things. I was like, oh, so now the game's over. Oh, I did find that woman in the. I did find that woman later. She popped up. She wanted me to fix all the radio towers so that she could send a message out. And the whole point of the game was me trying to find a way to get out. And so you had to work with one of the factions, and if you completed the faction quests, then you would get out. The problem is, though, is like I said, none of the faction quests really overlapped. When I did the Holden poison method, Holden does meet you at the interchange and puts a bullet in the scientist woman's head that I rescued from the prison. So there is that, I guess, overlap where you can't complete more than one faction quest line. And I don't know, man. It just, because none of the quest lines really overlap with each other. Like, they don't even go to the same places most of the time. There's no reason to do more than one, and nobody explains any of that to you. Like, I understand they're not going to explain to me that there's, but you'd think that if there's a scientist and there's a woman engineer who's trying to reactivate the radios, and you got Holden who's a scientist, that maybe those three would work together and you would do their different quest lines, but then they would be like, you can't trust the other two. You have to do it my way, because if you do one of the other ways, like all that stuff should have overlapped so that you'd have a bigger storyline. Protocol could have been part with one of the scientists. Like, I could totally see Protocol working with the woman I rescued from the prison, except she was in the prison because of Protocol. The druids were crazy, so I don't know if there was a faction that they could have worked with. Um, uh, yeah, I didn't finish the prison lady's quest. I didn't find her notes. You're supposed to bring her notes from her robotics section, so I don't know how that quest line would have worked out. I didn't turn on the radio towers because I didn't want to scramble back through. There are like 6 radio towers scattered across the 4 overland maps. Apparently, I'd seen one radio tower, so I don't even know where the other ones were at. But they were all turned off until you found her finally, and then she's like, "Oh, I pushed the button. Now all the power's back on. Now you can go turn on all the radio towers, and then I can send a signal out and get us out of here." So yeah, it was too disjointed and disconnected. Stealth wasn't good. Inventory space was severely limited. Not enough gadgety stuff to pick up. Oh, that was a big complaint I had. There's no toolbar, and so there you got like 4 buttons, 1, 2, 3, 4, that you can assign things to. And then sometimes there would be like a buried treasure, and you found a metal detector, and then you'd press like Q to equip it. But there was also like a flashlight, and there was this device that lets you redirect the electricity in spots. There'd be like a box on the wall, and there'd be like a wire coming in this way and a wire going out this way, and then a wire coming in from the side. And so you could see the yellow light on the up, which was connected to like a machine gun, right? And so then you'd use the device on that, and then it'd go down, and then the lights would come on or something, right? And so you did some redirecting with that device. I couldn't figure out a way to bring those up easier, so I didn't like that. I'd have to either go into my inventory if I missed the on-screen hit the Q button quick so that we can activate this tool. So I didn't like that. I didn't like that stealth wasn't a thing. There were so many guys, but they all grouped together. I literally, at one point, was so trapped that sometimes you have to crawl under things. And so there was one point in the game really early on at the interchange where I was so trapped that what I ended up doing was crawling under the door and moving to the side so they couldn't shoot me, and then moving back so far that all I could see was their feet and shooting them in the ankles. Because there were so many bad guys all together in a group, constantly looking at each other, so there was no way to stealth past them or stealth kill them. I don't know. I don't know what went wrong with the whole stealth aspect of the game, but it did not work for me. Yeah. And the fact that batteries were the thing to unlock the interchange, but I didn't actually have to quest to get the batteries. I just had to kill the robots I came across. I didn't like that either. I mean, I liked fighting the robots. I liked pulling the power out of them. But once you pull the power out of them, you have a battery. And I literally got most of my batteries. I'll bet I had 8 batteries in the storage box that they have in the game. There's these like pneumatic tubes you can shove stuff in, and so any place you can find a pneumatic tube, you can pull your stuff back out. So that was their answer to having a tiny inventory on your guy. No armor was weird. Like I said, again, no real gadgets, no gas masks, no night vision. I mean, it was 1950 something, so I assume they had some kind of night vision. It was a very, it felt like the start of a game. And it literally took me less than 20 hours to wander around, plus work on several different factions, sets of quests. Like Mother June's book, and I did work my way into the robotics lab. I just never found that woman's notes. No waypoint system to let you know where things were, so it'd be a little confusing. Where it's just like somewhere to the east is the thing you want, and you're like, east where? East in this zone? East in the next zone? I don't know where you're even trying to direct me to. And there were only 3 overland zones, maybe half a dozen dungeons that I found. And when I say dungeons, I mean like one of these buildings, right? Like this would be a dungeon. You'd wander in, you'd wander around a few rooms, and then it'd be over. The prison was huge. The castle was huge. The interchange was huge. The interchange was probably the biggest section of the game. Everything else was pretty tiny. Yeah. I don't know. It was okay, but it wasn't what I was expecting. And I wish it had been less disjointed. A more cohesive storyline would have made that game a lot more fun. Alright, with that, be better than small things, leave the light. I will talk to you later.